Hey guys, insight number 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, yes, insight number 4. So we're in chapter 3. We're going to look at verses 3 and 9, and I've entitled this one Forgetting and Neglecting Jesus, because if we're going to survive in this world, like as President Nelson has told us, if we're to survive spiritually, we need that relationship with Christ. We need to strengthen those things, not lose them. If we are to survive spiritually, we need that connection. And these people had forgotten it. And so Mormon's talking about this, and it applies to his day as it applied again to Samuel's day and to our day. So it says in verse 3, "And I did cry unto this people," because he was allowed to go preach, because previously you'll read that he was not allowed to. The Lord said, no, don't try and teach them anything. They are absolutely close their ears. They will not hear you. At this time he was. And he said, "And I did cry unto this people, but it was in vain, and they did not realize that it was the Lord that had spared them, and granted unto them a chance for repentance. And behold, they did harden their hearts against the Lord their God." So there they go again, hardening their hearts. And then down in 9, "And now because of this great thing which my people the Nephites had done, they began to boast in their own strength, and began to swear before the heavens that they would avenge themselves of the blood of their brethren who had been slain by their enemies." So their one little moment of victory that they had, because there was a lot of killing and a lot of wars in here, so you can focus on that, but we're focusing more on how do we survive in a wicked world. How do we do that? So we see after some victory, Mormon's many attempts to persuade them, but all was in vain. They did not acknowledge the Lord at all. Rather, they dismissed their chances for repentance and and hardened their hearts. In verse 9, they even boast of their own strength, like the Lord had delivered them. They did not say thank you. They didn't even acknowledge that it was the Lord who did it. They were like, well, that was us. We were so strong that day we beat them. It's like, can you remember all the failing battles you've just been in? And the one time he gives you another chance, you take that as your own strength? Don't think so, because you failed all those other times. So you've got to know that this was the Lord. This is a kind of obvious thing that the Lord did for them, being that they had failed in so many battles, but this one they won. But instead of going, would have been God that delivered us because we failed in all the others, they just think, oh yes, we were the men today, yeah, we got that one. Totally missing the point, right? So how do you acknowledge God and Jesus in your life? Do you give thanks when these things happen? Where you've tried at something and suddenly it works, or there's a different solution that comes and it's even better. Do you acknowledge God and Jesus Christ in that, and do you thank them? Do you have that relationship with them that you know it's them that did that? Because I am working on that, and I'm pretty good at it. I don't get it right again all the time, but I'm pretty good at it. And what blessings do you notice when you see his influence? And when you give thanks for it, how do you feel? Well, if you can acknowledge his influence in your life and his direction and guidance and the answers and the things he puts in your pathway that help you incredibly, I just sit there sometimes in prayer and tears. I've just got tears of gratitude. I don't even ask for anything. And I'm probably thinking that I want some stuff, but I'm just like, you know what? It's all peripheral, because thank you so much for saving me again. Thank you so much for providing again, for delivering again and again and again. He turns up, and I recognize that. And the blessings I notice when I see his influence, huge. And what can we do daily to remember and to not forget Jesus? What's something we can do within our homes, within our little sphere of influence? What can we do? Well, we can pray, we can read scriptures, putting up a picture of Christ or his house. Put up pictures of the temple. There are all things that President Nelson has talked about in the last 6 years in his conference talks around how to be able to remember Christ daily, to remember Jesus daily. His last conference talk, he asked us to think about the atonement weekly. Make time to learn more about the atonement, so to increase our understanding of it. So wherever we were in our understanding of the atonement, learn more. Weekly. Well, we can think about that daily. You can break that into a daily study. There's things that we can do to remember Christ, to see his influence, and to give thanks for it. Because forgetting and neglecting Jesus is incredibly easy to do if we just get stuck in their rut and stop looking. We need to look for his influence and thank him for it, because it makes it so much better. When you read about these people and how it ended up going down for them, it was not pretty. And it must have been so sad for Mormon, his wife, Moroni, and any other children they had, or maybe even Moroni had a wife. Did he ever get married? I don't know. But they were good. That little family unit was awesome. And they lost them. They must have felt devastated. I cannot imagine how it would have been. They get down to 24 of them. And somehow, and it doesn't actually tell you how, but somehow they escape. But we know Mormon gets killed in battle, and Moroni says that, but doesn't actually talk about it. And I think one of the reasons he doesn't talk about it is because it must have hurt him so much, about everything that his dad had tried to do for this people, and nobody listened to him. So I think that's one of the reasons Moroni doesn't write about it. Or maybe there just wasn't space, or maybe the Lord said, we don't need to write about that. It's not important. But to me it is. I want to know why. I feel for them. But again, we're in this wicked world together, so what do we do to be able to stick together? There's more than 24 of us, right? And most of us are not running for our lives like Moroni's going to end up doing. Most of us are not fighting with a sword daily and leading armies like Mormon did. So we're not in this physical battle like with swords, but we still need to prepare, fortify, and strengthen our foundations, our preparations for whatever is coming. Yeah. So what do? Let us know. Drop it in the comments. Give us some ideas. Okay, hang around. We're going to go over to Mormon 5 and a little bit of Mormon 6. I'll see you there.